One Piece is a series that's been talked about to death. I mean, between all the hundreds of other channels, or honestly, even just Tekking's channel, just about everything has been discussed. Every single One Piece fact has most likely been accounted for. Well, except for these. Today, we won't be taking at all of the facts you've heard, but instead, we'll be quickly discussing 5 secret, almost 100% true facts. And of course, if you guys know any secret, almost true One Piece facts similar to these, be sure to leave them in the comments, so I can make a part 2 with viewer-submitted facts. If you enjoy this absolutely almost factual and informative video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more anime content. And of course, if you want a list of actual One Piece facts, I made a video a while back with 120 historical references from the series that I'll link at the end of this video. With that being said, let's get into it. Starting things off, we have a fact that I got from one of my most trusted friends, Kevin Crust. He's actually in my last video on bad endings in anime, so if you haven't seen that one, I'll link it at the end as well. Anyways, despite never watching the show, Kevin knows the secrets of the Will of D, or at least what it was when Oda originally started the series. Monkey D. Luffy, Goal D. Roger, Portcullis D. Ace. What does the D stand for? Well, that becomes pretty obvious when you consider that One Piece was originally a horror series. So, naturally, the D stood for Dracula. However, as we all know, the horror theme ended up being scrapped in favor of a more uplifting theme. But, of course, just like Oda put Ryuma in Thriller Bark to pay homage to his older works, he also added Dracule Mihawk as a nod to what could have been. On the note of Mihawk, let's move to some of the other biggest powerhouses in the series. That, of course, brings us to the Admirals. We all know that the Admirals are based on Japanese actors. I mean, when you look at the Admirals, it's pretty clear to see the resemblance. But what's up with their powers? Ice, magma, light, and later gravity. I guess I could see ice being matched together with magma, but I can't really see how the light or gravity can play into that situation. Just how do they all fit in? Well, naturally, if you look at when One Piece was released, it all makes sense. It was in the swing of the 90s with 4Kids Entertainment taking over the West. Now, this will sound a bit weird at first, but trust me, it all fits perfectly. I have it on a very reliable source that the Admiral's abilities actually come from Oda paying respects to one of the other biggest series in the world at the time, Pokemon. More specifically, the legendary birds. Hear me out. Ice, we have Articuno. Magma, Moltres, who was born from a volcano. And light, obviously based on lightning, Even if we look at Fujitora's gravity powers, they're pretty clearly linked to Lugia's psychic and telekinetic abilities. We can also assume that everyone else is wrong about Green Bull having some kind of plant-based power, since he will obviously have some kind of rainbow fruit to match Ho-Oh. Let's hop back to our protagonist for a moment though. Obviously the main character's name is Monkey D. Luffy, but what the hell is a Luffy? If you're like me, you're probably 90% sure it's that thing that you use to clean yourself in the shower. But it turns out that loofing is a type of sailing where you basically go wherever the wind takes you, which perfectly fits the character's mentality. And that would be great if that's how naming him actually worked. It turns out Oda just named him Luffy because it was just a fun-sounding name that fit, and he discovered the term loofing later. And you want to know what the wildest part of this one is? This one is actually true, and just kind of a cool coincidence. Alright, but no more name facts or real facts in this video. We can't ruin the theme. Let's talk about Hawkins. Hawkins is easily one of the most mysterious and interesting characters of all of the supernovas. He looks like a grown man who's kind of a bit scary. But the more you learn about him, the more you realize something is off. Look at what Zoro enjoys to do. Swordplay and drinking. Sanji likes to flirt with women. But Hawkins is into tarot cards. And here is where we can find the secret fact. While Hawkins might look like a grown-ass man, he's actually, in fact, a goth girlfriend, and you cannot convince me otherwise because no one else uses tarot cards, even though they are pretty sweet. And finally, let's talk about these 7 warlords. As we all know, in anime, it is a law that if there's a group of 7 characters, they have to be based on the 7 deadly sins. So let's take a look at the original 7 warlords. We have Crocodile, Dofi, Kuma, Boa, Mihawk, Jinbei, and Moria, a very wide cast group with many different types of people in it. You have some who are very nice, and some who are, Doflamingo. But just like the homunculi, they are based on these 7 deadly sins, and it's pretty obvious once I get into it. Alright, look at Doflamingo. Clearly he's based on Meliodas. Look, big smile, blonde hair, what more do you want? Boa is based on Merlin because they're both the most attractive in their series. Kuma is king because he constantly disappoints everyone around him, never living up to their expectations. Jinbei is Bon because he is best boy. Mihawk is Escanor because he can kill everything in front of him. Moria is Diane because no one wants him around. And that just leaves Crocodile, who is obviously Gother, because Gother is androgynous, and there's that whole fan theory of Crocoboy and Ivankov. And I know a few of you out there are probably thinking, but the 7 deadly sins came out way after the warlords were introduced. But don't let that fool you. I'm sure the smart ones among you can realize that this must go deeper than we all expected. But there you have it, 5 100% almost true facts, one of which actually ended up being real once I looked into it, unfortunately. Like I said, I have a whole video on real One Piece historical references, which I think is pretty neat, and you can check it out in the card that follows, if you want some real information. If you guys did enjoy this video, or at least didn't hate the shitpost today, leave a like and consider subscribing, but with all of that being said, I've been Axellian, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay excellent.